Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and again, I do want to make sure you guys know that this is the second day I've been using this microphone, and I'll be home tomorrow, so you guys will not have to uh, listen to this particular mic anymore. I'll be back to my normal mic, but I want to go ahead and get right into the mod that we're looking at in this video, and this truck. The Mongo this is an updated version of a truck that has been in pretty much every version of SpinTires for years. It was in the tech demo, it was in the original SpinTires game, and then now it's in MudRunner. And I want to see what can actually be done in terms of... Wait, is that chain just go on the front? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, chain on tool. Okay, there. Okay, so it's kind of a... it's a bit of a tow truck almost, but the weird thing about it is that I'm curious as to how many vehicles we can actually fit on this thing. Now, it can actually tow semi-trailers as well, so if you want to tow, like, a massive trailer to unlock a garage or something, you could do that. And you can also use the tow truck while pulling a really big trailer, too. So that's really, really useful and really helpful that I think, and it's one of the things that this thing can do that I think sets it apart from a lot of the other trucks. But the main experiment I want to do is I want to see if I can figure out, firstly, how this towing package actually works. So, first thing I want to do, if I can get it up here just a little bit further, is go into advanced mode. And let's see, platform 2 up and down. Oh, so platform 2 is the bottom. And then the other, okay, so we can raise the top platform. So I guess what we would want to do first is lower it all the way down. Lower it all the way down with the ramps touching the actual platform itself, and then slide it down. Is that far enough? I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure if that's far enough. Okay, so it can tip a little bit more. So that's as far as it goes, and that's as far as it tips. Okay, so I'm gonna back the truck up a little bit. Oh god, okay, that's better, because we were facing downhill. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get into one of the little UAZs that's sitting right back here at the garage, because I feel like that's the best thing to test this with, and we may need to winch them up. I think that was something that I was curious as to whether or not we would need to do, but I think we're probably going to need to do it, because I don't... Oh god, okay. I'm gonna say I don't think these things have the traction for it, but I guess I was wrong. I'm gonna say, let me see if I can get it closer up. Alright, that works. Stop engine, and then I need to see if I can rearrange the... So that would be platform 2 up and down. Nope. Up and down for the top. So now raise the top deck up, and this is where it gets really interesting. You raise that top deck up, and then you go and switch vehicles again to the other UAZ, and you drive it onto the bottom deck. This thing is such a weird... It's a weird contraption to use, but I think it's probably... Well, not probably. It is the most advanced tow truck mod that I've ever seen in SpinTires MudRunner. Like, no question about it. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. So we'll change... Oh, wrong truck. Oh, that is a really interesting angle, though. Back to the... Oh! Back to the Mongo, and what we're going to do is we're going to do platform 2. Would it be platform 2 up and down? Yeah. So, uh-oh. Oh, it's actually in the ground. Okay, so we need to slide it up first. Then you can see you actually move the weight to where it needs to be. So now platform 2, lower it back down, and boom, now you actually have both of these UAZs fully loaded onto this tow truck, which, honestly, there's really no better... There is no better towing system that I've ever seen in the game at all. This is the best towing system I've seen. It's the easiest one to use, and it's the most functional and the most effective, because what else can basically fold itself up and carry two UAZs or other smaller vehicles that easily without running into issues. Like, that is impressive. So I'm going to also put the garage trailer on the back so you guys can see the full potential of this thing. So you can basically tow a full-size semi-trailer from the back while hauling 2 UAZs or other equally sized vehicles. Also, the custom steering wheel, by the way, fully turns. You have a fully rendered interior view with a shifter, a steering wheel, and the integrated dash. You have the cage, and the little logo that actually hangs like from where the mirror would be actually kind of swings around. So that, dude, there's pretty much nothing untouched in this entire mod. Like, you can haul both of, oh god. You just have to be smooth when you drive it, because if you're not smooth when you drive it, you're going to run into a few issues that are going to show themselves pretty quickly. But I'm going to take it down the trails and see how, oh god, see how stable it is, or not stable it is. But actually, the grip seems to be pretty good. I'm pretty impressed at how good the grip is. Well, I shouldn't necessarily say the grip. The overall torque, though, when you just you have to ease into it, because if not, it will buck a good bit actually under the weight, and you run the risk of throwing those UAZs off of the trailer. And this map is actually, I would say the trails here are okay for something like this, because they're not necessarily over the top. You're not going to be rock crawling or anything like that, but you still have a fair amount of challenge if you want to, drive a rig like this down some trails. And frankly, I think this is about as intense of a trail system as I would want to take this thing to, at least when it's fully loaded down. Now, when it's unloaded, I think this thing could actually take on some really intense stuff, but when it's fully loaded, there's not a lot of trails that I would want to take this thing down. I think, frankly, there's a lot of trails that I would avoid with this thing in this particular condition. But the UAZs are doing a pretty good job of staying on the truck. I actually am fairly surprised of that. The trailer is definitely, you can tell it's weighing the truck down a bit. You have to be careful on hills, because I've seen the rear axle of the UAZ up top lift a couple of times, and it's kind of unnerving because it makes you feel like, oh god, is the UAZ on top gonna just fall off or come off like randomly? But I think also, like I said before, we've made it extra tricky for ourselves with that heavy trailer behind us. And one thing that you do have to be aware of is that the UAZ up top will run into trees. And that is something that's so weird to think about that you don't even think about that in your normal routine of driving trucks in the game. But when it comes down to something like this, you're like, oh, I need to pay attention to tree branches, because the UAZ up top could very well catch on one. So I'm going to see how it does going up these rocks, because I do want to see how much trouble we can get it into and then get it out of again. Because, I mean, it does have a full-size trailer behind it. It does have, 2 vehicles that it's towing. And already it's starting to have a bit of a tough time. But if we can just get a little bit of traction, we might be able to make a difference. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. How close is that? Oh, God, that UAZ is, like, right on the edge of falling off. Like, right on the edge. We may have to avoid the rocks entirely. I'm also trying very hard not to let those fall off. Because if they fall off, we may be done. You know what? I'm going to lose the trailer. I'm going to just go ahead and lose the trailer. And, well, surprisingly enough, it's not the trailer. Oh, God, don't flip over, please. Ooh! Oh, God! Well, we lost one. We lost one UAZ. The one on top is still there. We lost the other one. Let's see how long we can keep that one up top. And I'm not going to alter the position of the deck at all. I'm just going to leave the deck exactly where it is and just carry on and see how long it lasts up there. Which, my God, if this isn't the most top-heavy thing I have ever driven in this game. It's so top-heavy, guys. It's not even funny. Oh, God, you put it in high range and it just throws itself right off the top. That is hilarious. But actually, I'm going to rescue this thing back to the garage now. Because I want to see if there's any other add-ons that, could really be used. But I think this particular add-on is kind of the star here. The towing setup is the evacuator, quote unquote, because there's two levels of it, the evacuator times 2 and the evacuator times 1. Basically, like, this is just a normal flatbed, and then this is a flatbed with the other folding part on top. So you can really do a number of things. So you can use it as a fuel truck. It'd probably be one of the better fuel trucks to use if you're in an area or in a map that requires you to get fuel to really, really treacherous or difficult areas, because this thing is going to be way more capable than any of the stock trucks. And if you were to remove that, you have for God's sake, there we go. You have garage parts, which is basically just a tent. You take that off, and you have garage trailer. You can actually, oh, for God's sake, come on. You could do, where is a trailer hitch? We need that. Chain on, what are these extra chains? They just sit there? I guess they just sit there. Huh. I didn't think that they really did anything, but I guess they just sit there. Spare exhaust pipe. Not sure the purpose of that. I guess just to move it around. So if you put the trailer hitch on as well, you gain access to semi-trailers, which means any like universal semi-trailers that you have in the game or that you downloaded can be adapted onto the back of this thing. And they do angle up a little bit high, but you got to remember that this thing can get into a lot of areas that most of the semi-trucks in the game cannot get into. So I think definitely this thing is worth a look, because especially if you don't download a lot of mods and you want something that's very multi-purpose as a rescue truck, a semi-truck, and could be used as a logging truck, give this thing a look, because it's a very, very, very good mod. Very fun to use and fun to drive. So if you guys enjoyed this mod tour and review, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you all later.